Yeah, I think gratitude is a huge component for me, and I've tried to be intentional in kind of seeing the day-to-day experiences and the people I interact with a sense of gratitude. Even the people who may be rubbing me the wrong way on a particular day, um, they're teaching me something. And so living a life with gratitude can change your mind shift on how you see things, how you interact with the world.
Right.
Hi everyone. Welcome back to Dream
Dream
with
with
Us.
us. Hi, I'm Kate.
And I'm Joe. And if you were watching our previous episode, you saw that we talked about the wheel of life. And this was a section in a book called The Five, which we'll have linked below. And in that exercise, there were 12 categories. And so, of those 12 categories, there's career, family, financial, health, recreation, charitable, adventure, travel, romance, relationships, and spiritual,
And also education.
and education. And so, with those 12, you rank them from 1 to 7, 7 being the most satisfied, 1 being the least satisfied. And so we went through the items that Kate and I felt we were most satisfied in our lives, with some areas that we could improve. And now we're going to talk about the areas that are kind of definitely places that we want to make more satisfied, expand on these areas in our lives. And so for me, one of them is travel. And travel for me was kind of low on the scale because, we have our day to day lives and there are not a lot of opportunities to travel in our lives right now. And so I think that's an area for me that we can improve, or I can improve and want to see change as I move into the next chapter of my life.
Travel was low on my scale as well, but not as low as adventure.
And what does adventure mean to you?
So I think that's one of the things that I'm still trying to figure out. And I think as a person who's in my mid 40s, almost approaching late 40s, what does an adventure mean? Um, Whereas when I was younger, adventure really meant like kind of like zip lining and skiing and physical activities. Whereas now that kind of stresses me out. You know, I see something and I go, am I going to get hurt from that? Am I going to be really sore? And like, I want my health to be really satisfying too, but I recognize that even if I'm working out all the time and I'm making really good health choices, my body may not really appreciate the level of adventure that I used to enjoy.
Yeah,
So I'm still struggling to figure out what adventure means to me.
I scored low on adventure too. I scored it a 3 for me in terms of satisfaction. And, as a reminder, Kate and I did not compare our answers before this video. So we're doing this kind of in real time. And for me, I also kind of struggled with what does adventure mean to me? And I think, certainly, for example, those physical activities, we went on vacation in South Carolina this past summer, and we did some parasailing and some other types of activities, and they were fantastic.
Yes,
And I
they were a
still want,
blast.
yeah, they were a blast, and I still want to do those kind of activities. But what does adventure mean to me? Does it mean kind of scaling a mountain or going scuba diving? I don't think so. I don't think that's the definition for me. But I think what I came to terms with for that definition of adventure is the openness to trying new things.
Right.
Right? I've never been scuba diving. I might be open to trying it, and certainly that idea of kind of curiosity and being willing to try new things rather than just categorizing it as some grand adventure, doing some activity. um, I do look at it as trying new things and being open to it. So that's kind of how I'm starting to define adventure.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that I'm trying to like understand too, because adventure could really be that trying a brand new restaurant that you've never tried or going into a new store that you've never experienced, and finding ways to add new experiences into your day-to-day life. And I know for me, when I'm open to new experiences, I'm also open to meeting new people and
Mm,
being like your whole being just invites people to talk to you, to experience life in from their perspective, to be willing to talk to them. And I think when we are rushing through our day to day over and over again, we sometimes forget to be not polite, but just engaged
mm.
with the people around us. You know, like I had this one cute story where we went to Starbucks and I asked him what he wanted. He sent me his thing. And when I walked in, I put in the order, and the barista there was like, "Is this for you or for your husband?" And it just opened my eyes to even realizing that I didn't even realize that they noticed us. You know, like we're just a person in the line. And it felt so reassuring to realize that if we are kind and open and engaging to the people around us, we can make connections in different ways.
Yeah, that barista knows that I like an extra shot of espresso in my drink, and that day I wasn't asking for it. And it's those they're almost micro adventures in life, right? It's like being engaged, like you said, being open to new experiences, and that could be new connections too. That's part of the adventure of life. It doesn't have to be some grand travel experience, though it can be. It can be in appreciating and engaging in these little moments.
Right. And just being aware of how you can create more gratitude in your life and how you can experience life in a way that reminds us to be grateful. Like I have a cousin that every year she writes this beautiful double-sided single space 8-point font of all of the things that she and her family has have done throughout the whole year. And when I put on a different perspective on that, I recognize that what she's doing is she's creating a gratitude list and giving thanks to all of those adventures. And from my perspective, I can sit back and say, "Oh my god, she's doing all this stuff and it's amazing and I don't do anything." But if I actually sat down and I looked at all the things I did in a year,
Mhm.
people would look at and say, "Wow, you have a very adventurous life. You are fulfilling so many good things."
Yeah,
So I think that's an area of where I need to be more open to new experiences, being grateful for those experiences, and being willing to share that joy and gratitude with others.
yeah. I think gratitude is a huge component for me, and I've tried to be intentional in kind of seeing the day to day experiences and the people I interact with a sense of gratitude. Even the people who may be rubbing me the wrong way on a particular day, um, they're teaching me something. And so living a life with gratitude can change your mind shift on how you see things, how you interact with the world.
Right.
And so that idea of gratitude though also kind of connects to one of the other things that I scored the last thing I scored the lowest on my satisfaction list, and that is kind of my charitable uh, area of my life. And I scored low, gave this a low score because I think I can do better here. I think, you know, I can contribute more. And yes, we're all stressed on time often in our lives and have a million things going on. And Kate and I certainly do things in the community. And, we both love animals and we donate time to local animal shelter. But there we both have more that we can give in different ways. And so for me, that's an area I want to become more satisfied in. And I don't quite know what that looks like yet, but it's on my vision board because I do want to improve upon it and change.
Right. Yeah. And charitable was in the same area, lowest for me as well. And, if you go back to our um, second part of our vision board video, you'll see where we really get into the details of our vision board. And one of the main details in my vision board was how, when disasters strike, how I feel and how I feel helpless and need to place that energy somewhere. And that I'm sure many of you also feel this way right now, where we see thousands and thousands of people struggling down south in Tennessee and in North Carolina. And you can see the videos that are out there, and you're just wondering, how can we help? And if you have any information on good organizations to work with or um, donate to, please link it into our comments below, because I just want to be able to research more on ways that I can make sure that these moments that I'm feeling most charitable can be most effective in the future. Because when we see people struggling, and I know for myself, I have gone through struggle in my own life, that the people around me that lifted me up and helped me were always the people that I will always appreciate more than anything in the world. And, I want to be able to give it back to people as well.
Right. And there are certainly a lot of great organizations like the American Red Cross and others, um, that you can donate to. And I think for Kate and I, it is more kind of how can we actively participate in some of um, these areas where we can give our time and our energy and donate to things that help our community and other communities outside of our immediate community. So those really are the three areas. And again, it's enlightening for us because we didn't really talk about this comparing it until just now. But what areas do you want to include in your list that you might want to build your satisfaction in?
What would you rank your areas that you need to improve on, that you feel at your core that you are lacking on? That when, like I was saying about needing to find those moments of charity, that you get reminded in a flash that you wish you had more energy placed towards that. Because very often we're on this path of working day after day after day. We satisfy their chores, we pay our bills, we do all the things that we need to do. But because we are not putting any energy into the areas that are part of our core values, they go by the wayside. And that, like you saw in our video before on the three areas that we found most satisfied, if we don't put that energy into those very areas that we consider to be our most satisfied, and we think, oh, it's great, we're fine, we're at the peak of satisfaction in that area, I don't have to put any more energy into it. The idea is, how can we keep a balance? Are we putting too much energy in one area and not enough energy in another area? And
Right.
so,
Yeah. So take a look at that list and what would you rank a seven most satisfied in your life? And what would you maybe give a lower score to? And feel free, if you're open to, sharing in our comments below. And until next time, dream with us.
dream with us. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And now, so where are you going to take me to dinner tonight? It's like 9 o'clock at night. How are we going to find a restaurant?
Sleepy Town.
And if you live in a location that has dinner after 9 o'clock, please let us know so we can go visit that.
Yeah, if your town closes after like 8:30, 9 o'clock, we feel your pain. And that's going to go on my vision board. Live in a place where I can get food after 9 o'clock.
Because the reality is, we would like to prioritize sleep, but that really means we want to prioritize sleeping later in the day.
Mm. a retirement goal.
Until next time. Okay. Episode 75. I think we figured out our formula.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right.